welcome to all our viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Windows. My name is Angie Meher, and I'll be joining you for today's episode. And in today's edition, we'll be focusing on two very important presidential initiatives and mega projects, including the Decent Life Initiative as well as the digital transformation, all in line with the New Egypt. And we're delighted to be joined in the studio by our guest, who will be telling us much more about these two issues, Dr. Dina, Gharabawy, Performance Analysis and Development Specialist. Dr. Dina, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for that, such an introduction, and it was always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. And Doctor, let's start from the very beginning, all right? So the Decent Life Initiative is a mega national project that was launched by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to improve the livelihoods of over 4,000 Egyptian villages across the country and to really develop the Egyptian countryside. Could you tell us a bit about the main idea behind this initiative and how it works across various sectors? It's not just in one area of, say, housing or agriculture or education. It's a multifaceted initiative.
Sure. So actually it is started by the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So we are trying to cope with the agenda of the United Nations. You know, it was like 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and now we are working on more goals. So have you ever heard about Maslow's hierarchy of human needs?
Yes.
For sure.
Of course.
So now we are trying to make sure that all Egyptian people are getting like participating in this hierarchy, but not to fill the basic needs.
Like, not just food and shelter.
Yes, for sure. So we need to make sure that all Egyptian people have equal opportunities so that they can achieve the self-esteem. So how can you achieve the self-esteem, which is on the top of the pyramid, without having a good opportunity for education, without having a good opportunity for being like heard to, and for having a better life and a better quality of life. So if you have a lot of challenges during your daily practices, so for sure we will not be able to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So it is started by the data analysis. You know, in Salah Salim we have for sure. Sure. So we are interested to make sure that we have enough data so that we can have analysis for the data, and then we work on the higher percentage of the Egyptian people who fill in the lower part of the pyramid, so that we can have that development part.
So you found that these people are those that live mainly in rural areas, countryside, villages, etc.
For sure, yes. And by the way, it happened in Cairo as well. So
in
Cairo
informal
is
settlements and areas around.
Sure, for sure. So firstly, after collecting the data, we are interested to make sure that we analyze the data and we have charts so that we can find the higher percentage of such people, so that we can start with. And then we start to you know, find a plan for the project management. Before you start a project, you need to know who you are working on, how you will apply your development plan, because sometimes if you are trying to have like a typical template that was applied somewhere else, it will not be applicable or
suitable for the needs of the peers, of the people or the population.
For sure, yes. So we need to make sure that we have the highest success rate of such projects. So we start by education, for sure, because education is the most important pillar of development. So by the way, I'm glad that the government didn't work on that alone, because the government of investment has already collaborated with the NGOs or the non-governmental organizations, so that we can involve all the sectors of the society and to achieve the highest success rate of such initiatives. So we started by the data. We know who we are working on, and also we know who we will collaborate with so that we can achieve that success rate.
Right.
So how?
Let me ask you, Doctor, how far has this initiative changed the lives of citizens living in rural areas or the countryside, as the first phase of the initiative has concluded?
Yes, for sure. So as I mentioned, it was firstly initiated by education. So I believe that you know already how many villages and how many areas are involved.
Yes.
It's more than 4,000.
4,000.
So can you imagine how many people
Live in over
are
4,000
involved?
villages.
Yes. So for sure we are speaking about millions.
Definitely.
So how you can imagine how many people are working on such projects as well. And we have something called conversion rate. Like we assess the data firstly, and we need to make sure that we have the ability to convert such people from being less educated to be highly educated. So we are targeting such a conversion rate. Now it's 7%. So I can tell you, we started back to 2019. We started by data analysis, and it was 0%. So can you imagine that three years of hard work, and now we are only 7%. So we need to make sure that we analyze the data, and we need to make sure also that we are following up with such people. And here's the part of sustainability that Egypt is following.
Towards.
Yes, because President Sisi is always stressing on we don't need to start a project without having a feedback, and we need to follow up. So this is the importance of having something continuous and something sustainable. And by the way, once we started, the first year it was only 1%. The second year it was 3%, and now we are 7%. This means that we are doubling. Yes, for sure. So we are expected to achieve more goals, to elevate the success rate, and for sure to have a higher conversion rate in less time than what we did before. And by the way, President Sisi is working also on the collaboration of the international organizations and many countries, not only in Egypt. You will find an expert from France or from, last year I worked with someone from Canada, and it was a great opportunity for me to learn how the other people, not the Egyptian people, how they apply their initiatives and how they got to the results. Like we compare the conversion rate, and by the way, guess what? Here in Egypt, it's a great opportunity for development. They take too much time to apply just one step. Here we try, and we believe in the trial and error. And by the way, the trial and error can give you higher percentages of conversion rates. So it was a great opportunity for me, and I wish by the end of 2030 we achieve 90% conversion rate as planned.
Right. So you spoke to us about the Decent Life Initiative, and as you mentioned earlier, it is a multifaceted initiative. It's not just about education or just about job creation or just about health or just about infrastructure. It's, a network.
17 dimensions, yes.
17, there we go, exact number of dimensions. So tell us how they work together, how they work side by side, hand by hand. We've seen already several issues like infrastructural developments around these villages, new roads, new highways, new axes to allow the easier, transport to and from these areas, and the interconnectivity of different villages to cities, to urban areas, which is very important for the economic side, for example, of things, for even the psychological state of the citizen, where you don't have to spend 2 hours to get to your work or to where you need to go. So as you said, it's a multifaceted approach. So tell us a bit about how they've worked side by side in different areas at the same time.
Perfect. So firstly, we do something called needs analysis. Like we assess the needs, and then we start to ask ourselves who will work on that. So we attract experts from different specialities so that we can cover all of the needs.
So not all the villages or rural areas have similar needs. Some might have needs for more educational facilities, some health, some more job creation, some for sanitation, water services, etc.
Sure. And by the way, we involve gender as well in the whole thing. I didn't expect to have a lot of, in Egypt here, like in Cairo, we have different percentages of empowering women, you know, in villages, different than cities.
Yes, of course.
So for sure, we also didn't expect to have a special program for gender equality and for involving women. Because again, if we are trying to apply a special or a specific template from any other organization or any other country in the world, and you can feel it yourself. Now we have a better representation of women, either
across
in
different
media.
sectors, yes, the media, politically, economically, etc.
Sure. So the needs analysis part is the most important part to make sure that we are covering what people need, not
what you think they need.
Yes, for sure. Yes. So it's something based on a real life experience. It's a project-based experience. It's not something that we discussed in like a closed room. No, it's based on their daily practices and their daily experiences as well. And by the way, I have been honored to participate in one of the programs, like on the 17 goals, and the impact is not only on such people, by the way. If I'm a doctor and I'm working with different people from different sectors, we have meetings, so I hear new ideas. Now I'm a doctor, I work morning in the hospital, and by the end of the day I work in digital, yeah, we will
Move
come
to digital transformation in a
for
bit.
sure, yes. So I couldn't have such an opportunity without being involved in such
an
diverse programs. So everyone is getting involved, is for sure having a personal benefit, and for sure having also a great network and opportunity. You open a road for someone who is less privileged, and also you open another road for yourself to know someone else maybe you need to share yourself with, maybe
Further
you need
your
to have,
horizons as well.
for sure, yes. So this is one of the multi-dimensions that we are speaking about. It's not only about the people who we help, it's about us who work on such projects.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right, Dr. Dina, let's also talk about this initiative and how it has also worked to really decrease unemployment. Another main need,
Yes.
and a universal need for most of the areas that are targeted by the Decent Life Initiative, more employment opportunities. There has been a drive to fund small, even micro, medium, and small enterprises, and that has been a very important goal of the initiative.
Sure.
You know, like they say, give a man a fish or teach him or her, a woman, to fish. It's a different approach to an economic benefit of this initiative. Tell us a bit about the funding of small and micro, medium enterprises and how this has been another, byproduct of this initiative.
Sure. So actually, it started by, we didn't start by 17 goals. We started only by 4. One of them was unemployment.
Creating jobs.
So we asked ourselves how we can decrease unemployment. It's by raising education, it's by raising social class, it's by raising something called soft skills and attitude. Because if you are well educated and you don't know how to communicate what you have with people, you will not have an equal opportunity with someone who has a better attitude. So we wanted to make sure that we are empowering such people not only with the needs of the market. Like now we are working on entrepreneurship, how to give them the knowledge needed to launch a project, to manage a project, and also to have the marketing solutions. So Ministry of Investment has launched more than one project to empower such people. And by the way, we started by just empowering youth from 21 years old till 32, and now we extended the age limit so that we can empower people till 45 or even more. It depends on how you approach the government with that. So we also try to make sure that people can apply for such initiatives and to make sure that they have a better approach for the government. So we started by doing social media initiatives and campaigns, but we found that people are not that much above 32 years old. You will not find a lot of people following up with social media. So we started to have project campaigns so that we can make sure that we communicate with them physically, and we have meetings. Also, firstly, we started with such meetings with people who showed their interest. Now we are interested to make sure that we communicate with those who attend the, let's say, the education classes or the education projects, so that we can have enough time to communicate with them. Okay, if you have an idea, if you have a business idea, we can support you. We know that you didn't believe that someone will support you, but now it's not someone, it's the government. We will provide you with funding, we will provide you with the enough knowledge, and also we have experts for you from the Ministry of Investment, so that experts can mentor the program and they can launch the project with the founders, so that we can make sure that they are able to maintain such success. And also, by the way, the importance of feedback that President Sisi has stressed on. We need to make sure that we are helping them with the launch, and also after launching the project, we are following up with you on like monthly basis, so that we can help you. Also, your project has a conversion rate, so we will help you to like achieve better conversion rate. And in case you need more fund, in case you need someone, you need to be connected with like experts to work with you, we will already provide that as well. But
Absolutely.
it depends on, firstly, it depends on how we educate people about the importance of entrepreneurship. You cannot you cannot help such people with money, and okay, now you have money, you will buy food, you will, no. If you're interested to have a better life, you have to work with us, you have to start from the beginning, and you have to own like an enterprise and work on the enterprise. We will not give you money, we will give you knowledge, and we will give you enough money for you to start, but you have to sustain on working yourself.
Indeed, right. Doctor, as you are a doctor as well, let's move to the health sector, a very important part of the Decent Life Initiative. And the initiative has resulted in villages with health units reaching 71.6% as of 2020. A percentage of villages with natural gas connections also went up to 7.4%, and an increase with civil and charitable societies to 83%. This is the some of the recent statistics. The health sector is also a very important target for the Decent Life Initiative. How has it, and especially during the coronavirus pandemic, this was a major challenge, you know, that coincided with the launch of the initiative. So tell us how you dealt with the health sector with regards to this initiative.
Perfect. Thank you so much for mentioning 2020, because coronavirus has just transformed our lives. By the way, I mentioned that we had 4 pillars. Firstly, before having the 17, the health sector was one of the 4. So we started by analyzing the data. We found that people need help with such health needs. And I didn't imagine that once we start applying our vision on such areas, I didn't expect that the progress in the health sector will be more than the progress in the education sector. I felt like people will just believe that, okay, we have like a higher opportunity so that we can get well educated. I didn't expect that the health sector will have such
demand.
Yes.
Demand.
So firstly, we started with women. And by the way, it was like the most successful part of the whole project, because women has a great influence on the whole family.
Yes, indeed.
And we invited, let's say, 100 women today, and we found that the attendees are more than 300 or 400, because I'm your friend, and I met you on breakfast before I come here.
And I told you.
I have, yes, for sure. So the word of mouth. So we used the power of having
verbal communication.
For sure, for sure. So the verbal communication helped us firstly. And by the way, women can feel the importance of having that development in health, because sometimes you are a hard worker, you are giving yourself to your family and your kids, but by the end of the day, you don't have enough time to
tend to your own health needs or concerns. Yes.
Yes. So once women are educated about if you feel good, your whole family will feel good as well.
Yes.
So they felt that their mental health like is very important for their families as well. Yes.
It matters.
So we started by mental health, and also it took enough time, but I'm afraid it wasn't that much long, because we had to do tests and for viruses and, you know, for a lot of diseases.
Chronic diseases and chronic illness.
Sure. So we started by virus C. Of course, you have heard about the 1 million initiative, for sure. So we started by virus C, and this is, again, the importance of having the data analysis. We don't start by something that is not that much common. And I can share with you the success rate. Can you guess? We are trying to get 100% success rate. So let's say that 50 million people are infected with virus C. Can you imagine today, like now, how many people are not infected?
It's quite an impressive number.
Yes, because actually right now, 100% of people who got the vaccine had the 100% conversion rate. So
they were cured and treated fully.
Like, it's not fully, because it's mostly a chronic disease, but we are trying to make sure that we are elongating the life cycle of such people, because one of the most repeated diseases when it comes to mortality rate, it's the virus C. So our goal was to lower the mortality rate. We were not interested to have a lot of people dying at like while they are just 40 years old or
at a young
50.
age.
Yes.
Right.
So and by the way, once they die, it affects also our development projects, the rest of the family.
Absolutely.
So that's why virus C was one of the most important campaigns that we worked on.
Absolutely.
And 100% success rate is something impressive.
Very impressive.
Yes,
Indeed. Right, Dr. Dina, because we're running out of time, and I want to move to the other topic, which is digital transformation, which coincides and goes hand in hand with the Decent Life Initiative in many sectors. Tell us a bit about this, digital transformation and how to create this new digitalized Egypt.
Sure. So how it started, I would love to say that it started in 2020, once we had coronavirus, and that was the evolution of COVID. But actually, it didn't start this way. It started by the data analysis. We found that a lot of people are using social media, and they haven't access to the internet. Back to the infrastructure again, we developed the infrastructure, so now you have a better opportunity for telecommunication and social media as well. So we started to make sure that we are approaching people by by something that they love, and
the
they're
method,
attracted
the medium.
to.
This is the medium that they use, social media.
For sure, yes. So we started to use such social media for campaigns, so that we can approach people, and like, it was a brainstorming session. Like, guys, we have a great potential in such people. They are like using social media to communicate with us, and we are using social media to communicate with them. Why don't we apply the unemployment part, and why don't we apply the the economic part, so that we can make sure that we are making money out of the social media. That's why we applied the new initiative related to data analysis, programming. Have you ever been to McDonald's and used that machine?
Yes, different outlets. Yes,
okay. And use the machine instead of waiting in a line for someone to help you with. So this is the future. The programming is the future, and the digital transformation of the future. For sure, during COVID, we have had such difficulties in education. We were not allowed to let our children go to schools.
But look at the adaptation that happened with suddenly all schools and universities going to online learning.
For sure. So we have a lot of applications, online applications. So this is the online learning opportunities. And by the way, like even delivering drugs and medicine to people, it's even more evolving due to social media. Now, while you are home, you can order everything through a mobile application, and also it's not only on medicine or education. We needed to make sure also that people are using social media in a good way. So what if you have an innovative idea, why not to approach people through social media if you have an enterprise? So it also affected the Ministry of Investment, the content that we share with people. So you can build the whole business based on the social media marketing, and it's less like we don't spend too much money on funding such a project, and many people will be working on that. For sure, you're using social media and you find a lot of designs, graphic designs, infographics. So if we are working on an educational project, we need to make sure that we are working on the visual part. So what if we empowered such people so that they can learn graphic design, they can they can learn how to apply graphic design in many projects like educational projects, technology projects. You will find like the graphics everywhere. So now the Ministry of Higher Education is collaborating with many online courses, certified websites, so that we can offer it for free to people. And similar to the 100 million health campaign, now we have another campaign so that we can help 100 million people learn data analysis, programming, graphic design, and a lot of industries based on the digital transformation. It's totally for free. So actually it is still like we are still working on that, and I wish that we like achieve a higher conversion rate, because now everyone is having like an access to the social media. So you are not leaving home, you're just having your phone or laptop, and you're trying to gain knowledge using such accessible facilities. So I think by the end of 2022 we will have more than 30 million people, especially young people, fully educated about data analysis, programming, graphic design, and a lot of social media based industries.
Right. Let me ask you about, the issue of digital transformation and its accessibility. Some people would, maybe the older generations who are not so, social media tech savvy, could worry that maybe they won't have, the same access or same know-how. It's about know-how as well, to deal with the move towards a digital Egypt or digital transformation. How would you respond to that?
That's perfect. Actually, we have something in digital transformation called user experience. We need to make sure that everyone is using such like platforms or getting a benefit from such initiative is having the easy user experience. So we start by needs analysis. We try to introduce our programs to older people. So we ask them, like, what difficulties did you find? We try to cover such objections, and we try to like establish other projects so that we can facilitate the user experience. So it's one of the pillars of having the digital transformation campaigns, like getting a higher successful rate or a higher, let's say, conversion rate. So I think applying the user experience part in each and every single project is important, so that we can involve each and every age limit. Like we have like young people from 18 to 21, 25, 28, let's say, university. So we don't need to put extra effort so that we can involve them. They are involved already. And we don't need to raise their interest because they're interested already. What about people from 28 till let's say 40? They might be a little bit interested because they are the nearest to such age group. What about from 40 to 60? This is your question.
Yes, those are the people that I'm talking about.
Yes. What about them? We try to introduce the digital transformation facilities to them, and we ask them about the difficulties. Here we are to the part of the follow-up and the feedback. We try to make sure that they have an easier user experience. And by the way, we don't need to make sure that it's as complicated as the experience of the young people.
Sometimes it's just 2-3 steps and you're done. In order to simplify it.
Yes, for sure. And also we need to make sure that they have an access to the facility itself. And this is something that I'm sharing with you. It didn't happen yet. However, I would have the honor to speak about it once we apply such project.
Very good.
And by the way, President Sisi is approving such a project as well to provide the facilities. Because to have a laptop, to have a mobile phone, to have such like an expensive device, it's expensive. So you will prefer to buy something for your kid, but not for you.
Yes.
So we are working on providing such facilities to such
And
people
I will
as
hold
well.
you to that, Dr. Dina, in our next meeting, God willing.
Sure.
I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Dina Gharabawy, Performance Analysis and Development Specialist. Thank you so much for coming in and for all your insight.
Thank you so much for your time, and you have great listening skills.
Thank you very
so
much,
for
Doctor.
that.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us
Hi.
today. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up today's edition of Windows. You are in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Many thanks for watching.